Welcome into Card Talk on this Thursday episode. Tonight we're going to probably going to be a shorter episode. Got a lot going on around the real world of life with us, but we got Cam and Brad joining us tonight. Big thing on the ticket is going to be the Stanford game, guys. Saturday. Kind of cool. First time the two teams have met in program history.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's weird that it's a conference game. Like even though we've known they were going to be in the ACC for however long, like it's still a weird feeling. Like this is a conference game that we're playing on Saturday. You know, like it's a feeling that
it's weird to be playing a conference game in California at all.
Yeah, but no, I mean, as far as the game goes, man, it's been a long time since I can say like I've been this excited to play somebody that's 3-7 or whatever it is, because like all year, man, we've just been in battle after battle. Like it's been a mental grind all year as a fan of this team. And so it feels good to go into a game knowing that we are probably going to have our best, like, pure on thumping we've given to a good or a decent opponent all year. And that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if there's going to be a conference opponent that just gets their ass whooped, it's more than likely got to be Stanford. But the way last week shook out and how Louisville's season as a whole is shaking out, like we'll see.
Yeah. But
what's your thoughts, Cam?
Yeah,
it's I mean, pretty much what Brad was saying. It's a weird game, especially we never played them, have we ever in our entire history?
First meeting in program history.
Yeah, so there's nothing to go off of, and it's just weird, coming off a bye week going into that game. I'm glad it's not going to be a night game. We didn't have to wait until 11 o'clock. So
see, that's what I was hoping for. I was as a person who loves college football more than anything, like I was genuinely excited to have the opportunity to stay up till 2 a.m. watching the Cards play. But
no.
Hey, we may get it at some point, but it's not this year.
We'll probably have Cal next year.
Yeah, we have Cal. I think we have Cal next year, but it's in Louisville. I don't think we go to California again until 28 or 29.
Good.
So
no offense. Yeah, I know you like it. I don't like the whole aspect of. I don't agree with any of the conference realignment when you're traveling. Literally, it's not a conference at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah, true.
So, there's a reason that Hawaii doesn't have a professional football or professional sports teams.
Yeah,
that's.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, Stanford, they're not good. Like this is not a game where we should have to even stress a bit. I mean, let's be honest here. They have an outstanding wide receiver, but he's only like really good if the offensive line gives that quarterback some time. And let's be honest, they haven't really done that. And I mean, it's a game where as long as you don't just play stupid, no silliness, as Josh likes to say, no silliness, just smart, fundamental football. It's a game you should have handled by halftime.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, they've thrown more more interceptions than touchdowns. I think they've given up 30 sacks. Like, this is a game where both sides of the football, especially on the lines, should absolutely dominate.
That's a good call. Good catch there, Cam. I like the comparison.
But if you like, my thing is, if you come out with that same mindset you had against Clemson, you beat Stanford as bad as you want to.
Hello, Joshua.
Gentlemen, oh my God, that's close. Sorry, been doing big J journalism things all night.
Oh, well,
I have been in places that you cannot pronounce, producing products you've never heard of.
so that's called your attic, and that's because you're packing to move.
Yes, I'm packing to move. I promised if we lose to Stanford. Oh my goodness, my cat's attacking my dog. Sorry, that's kind of chaotic.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Like, let's ask ourselves, like, what is your biggest, if any, what is your one concern for Saturday?
Us.
Yeah.
Elaborate
Like,
a little, because
you come out and make the mistakes that you've made throughout this season, and I'm not saying they're going to, but you come out and you make those mistakes. You can lose any game to anyone if you play like you have at times this season.
That's kind of the way I look at it. So, I don't really have
ball security. Yeah, I mean, ball security. Like, I don't worry about Tyler. I don't worry about.
just don't get first half Boston College Tyler.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can give him a half when he's done what he's done this season.
Yeah.
The thing I keep going back to is the only time that teams lose games like this is when they beat themselves. Whether that be ball security, silly turnover, or silly penalties, or just piss poor coaching. So just cut all three of those out, and you'll probably win this game extremely handedly.
He did it in Clemson,
not trying to
South
be
Carolina.
overtly.
You can do it here.
Yeah, I mean, not trying to be overtly mean, but Stanford is a very bad football team. Like, I'm pretty sure Jack State would beat Stanford right now on a neutral field. So, just go out there, play your game.
True.
Yeah, just go out there, play your game, and you should probably win by like 3 touchdowns.
So it's kind of terrifying that, and I don't know if this rings like how bad Stanford actually is, but I mean, strength of schedule is actually 21st in the country. That's not terrible. I mean, compared to our 17th. But yeah, I mean, they have 117th ranked scoring offense, 113th in yards per point, 121st in total offense, 127. I mean, you go down through here and they are bottom. Bottom?
They're
3% in almost every statistic.
And here's the
They're
thing.
50% on fourth down conversions.
Yeah, they're 14 and 28. I saw that. And it's just like, remember our mindset kind of going into Georgia Tech? Where one of the things we talked about was just don't really give them that ball control aspect. Well, if you go back and you watch how Stanford beat Syracuse, like in that game, they forced 2 Kyle McCord turnovers, and I'm pretty sure they scored off both of them. But they were able to just methodically run the ball and chew clock. And like that's why to me it's so important that we are able to establish that dominance in the first quarter and just keep that foot on the gas the entire game. Because you can't let them hang around. Like, you can't let them hang around.
This one kind of worries me. They have 9 forced fumbles. That's actually pretty
They're
impressive.
a very optimistic defense, or however you say it. Like, for a team that's yes, there it is.
I had to think about what you're going to say.
Yeah. For a team that's as bad as they are, like, you start to dig into those kind of numbers. Like, they do force turnovers. I think they forced more than we have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
they forced 9. We have 5.
Yeah, so
They're 22nd in the
it's-
country.
they've
But
got
go
a
down a
good-
couple spaces. Where is it? Fumbles on the season. We have 6 and they have 19.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and they also have 13 interceptions.
They have 2 kicks or punts blocked, which is 18th in the country. We're at first. That's nice. It's cool
that's
to see.
insane.
It's cool to see. Yeah, I mean the forced fumble, like forcing 9 fumbles. I mean that's good ball. I don't. Other than that, like I don't see anything that's like, hey, this is a stat that might catch you off guard. Yeah, I don't. I really like. That's just some of the most abysmal stats I've ever like actually went through and looked through.
How do you pronounce that wide receiver's name?
I don't.
Josh,
know.
you know? I just call him the guy with the A in his last name. Like, he's good. Like, he's as good as they come as far as pure talent wide receiver goes.
I'm exhausted. Sorry, guys. Whew. I seen it a minute ago. That's what I had the ESPN up. Statistics. That is
AO Manor.
Ashton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ashton
Ashton
Daniels
Daniels.
is the quarterback.
running back. Oh yeah, and yeah,
He's
yep,
aw-
yep, you're right.
He's awful. He's awful.
He's just leading the team in rushing. Sorry.
Not trying to be like overtly mean again, but he's not good.
Oh no, he has 1,000 passing yards and 481 rushing yards. Like
He's,
I don't care if you combine those stats. That's terrible.
You remember how everyone was like, "Oh, Lamar's a running back." That
He's
Ashton
literally that.
Daniels should legitimately be a running back. And like that, like I said, like that's not me just criticizing to criticize either. Like it's rough to watch.
Hey.
I mean, he's not far from that.
I'll say this too. Ashton could have a career day Saturdays. Like this
Awesome.
is a game where he could legit have 3 sacks.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got a
yeah.
beard.
That's if they,
Ashton-
don't drop him back and just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, if I'm not
I hope they
mistaken,
do.
Ashton Daniels has been sacked 20 times this year. Does that sound right?
yeah, because I think they've had 30 sacks given up total, and they have
30,
played
okay.
2 quarterbacks. Yeah, they have played 2 quarterbacks. So the other guy's
Okay.
probably been sacked a bunch too. I mean, but
Yeah.
that doesn't like. I can't remember how many tackles for loss they had either, but they had given up. I think that number was up there pretty high too. So, I mean, we should be eating that backfield alive. I mean, we should have 2 or 3 guys in that backfield the majority of the game.
So he's been
Yeah.
sacked 12 times.
12.
Him personally.
What's the other guy?
But that's what I was going to look at. And then the other one, which was Justin Larson? Lamson.
Lanson.
Yeah. He was sacked 11 times.
Okay.
So that's 23. And then we're not done. Elijah Brown, and he was sacked 7 times. So there's your 30.
Yeah. I mean,
So they
just
have
like the kind of just harping off what Brad was saying. Like, this is a game where, this isn't like some super hot take. You should realistically have like 5 sacks this game.
Yeah, if not more.
I mean, Antonio Watts might have 5 by himself. Let's just be honest.
That's what I'm like. Like I could definitely see you having someone that comes out like single handedly and gets like 4 sacks. Like if they get hot, and that's one thing like I've noticed. Like we've got a couple guys like when they get hot in the backfield, they're like homed in on that backfield. So,
Yeah, TJ Quinn's one of those guys. It seems like he just has those games. Like he had a great game against Clemson. I mean, he's been one of our leading tacklers most of the year. I feel like.
And you know what? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm trying to keep it a little broad because I'm gonna get off here soon, to be honest, because I have more business calls to go on to with the rest of the press corps. But this is like the perfect game for Louisville at this time of the season. You just had the big win against Clemson. You should be able to build off that, have just a monster day on this Saturday. And then you roll into, I know Pitt is Pitt. It's arguable how good they are. But you can roll into that game, win again, and then just go into that Kentucky game on all cylinders. And then hopefully after that, playing the first round of the college football playoff.
This is almost like one of those confidence building games, but it just so happens to be a conference game. It's a confidence building conference game.
Yeah. And like, so
the
one thing I will say, you could see the defense and maybe even the offense try to do a few new little things this week just to test them out. And it could burn them in some situations. It could not. It could work great. But like, if it wouldn't surprise me if like Stanford got like one big chunk play because of that. This is the game where we can afford to, hey, let's only go with one high safety look, see what it looks like, and then give up like a 30-yard pass.
Dude,
that's essentially what we did in the Boston College game. I mean,
can I just run down? Listen to this real quick. This is crazy. Their highest passing game was against Wake Forest for 214 yards. Oh, no, sorry. Against Cal Poly for 221. That is insane. Dude.
You want to hear something funny also?
129. What?
Cal Poly is awful at the D2 level.
Yeah.
Like they're terrible.
I mean, they're also 2-7.
Yeah, y'all see who Bama?
What's up?
Y'all see who Bama plays this weekend?
No.
Bama?
Yeah, they play Mercer. You know Mercer's 9-1. Well, Mercer's like top 5 at the FCS level.
They have the ability to do the funniest thing.
I'm just saying, crazier things have happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean these stats, like I don't even want to look at these stats anymore. They're abysmal, and it makes me question how that program exists. But I'm just gonna say this: Notre Dame won 49-7, SMU won 40-10, Virginia Tech won 31-7, Clemson beat them 40-14.
Yeah, like there's a very obvious there's a trend here, and you need to keep up with that trend. If that makes sense.
NC State scored 59 on these bums.
Yeah.
NC State fans want to fire their offensive coordinator. Like, that's
not your offense, buddy. I mean, it's not great.
No.
But your offense is not the major issue.
Yeah. But, I mean, and in all seriousness, I have never felt this confident in a Louisville football game the whole time, like, I've been a Louisville fan. Like, I mean, of course, I didn't get to school there until 2018. So think about 2018 to now. Like, the way we went into Clemson and beat them that way we did, like, I have never been this confident. And you take care of business. You beat Pittsburgh. I mean, you go take care of business up the road. Like, you talk about momentum and help recruiting. I don't know if there would be a time where we have felt this good about football since, obviously Lamar or the Sugar Bowl. Like that's the thing is, like, these next 3 games are just, even if you don't get back to Charlotte, these next 3 games are so damn important, and you've got to win all 3.
Yeah. It's not an option.
I want you guys to imagine something with me for a second. All right. So Louisville beats the ever-living dog crap out of Stanford on Saturday. They play Pitt. They beat Pitt. Doesn't matter how they do it. They beat them convincingly. They beat Kentucky. They're at 9-3. They're sitting at the 12 line. They make it into the CFP as the 12 seed. Well, guess where they're traveling to more than likely?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. First round of the playoff, Notre Dame, hot as hell. Louisville going back into that environment. Louisville probably wins that game. And then we start really, these are the things I've been thinking of, like the gif of like the dude doing math in his head, like at the poker table trying to count cards. That's been me. And I'm like, oh my God, like this has legs to it. But like, got to beat Stanford.
And to pile on top of that, Josh, like that same feeling that you just mentioned, like that same feeling, throw in the fact that, I mean, you could get lucky, but just throw in the fact that you do get to Charlotte, you get a rematch with SMU, and you beat SMU. Then you're 10-3, probably in that same position of having the opportunity to go to Notre Dame and get that game back. Just saying. It's not unreasonable to think about these things.
I don't disagree.
It's not at all, and that's why that Clemson win is so important, and it's the way that you did it also. That's even more important.
Like that's the thing is you had media members who watched that game and saw how we physically dominated that game. Like you made a statement, and it woke people up. I mean, it did. I mean, because you beat Clemson the way you did, and there you are. You see your path back to Charlotte. Yes, you need a few breaks, but the breaks you need are not that not that crazy to think about, and you're right back where you were last year.
Oh, I'll be honest. If Pitt somehow magically finds a way to beat Clemson this weekend, I'm probably booking a flight to Charlotte.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, if Pitt beats Clemson, which I think they can, I think they could have a defensive battle and win. But if that happens, you have to start thinking about that. Like, I would book a hotel room probably Saturday if that happened.
Pitt beats Clemson, but you still got the Miami.
And that's the thing, man. Like, Miami will beat Wake. We know that. But, I mean, they do have to go to the Dome. And weird things happen up there. And
if there's going to be a game, it's going to be the Pitt Syracuse.
Like that's the one. Like, man, that Syracuse offense, they are good enough to score on that Miami defense. I mean, they are good enough to score on them. And I mean, I'm just saying, like that could happen. So we could be scoreboard watching while we're playing Kentucky.
We saw it last week how vulnerable that Miami looks when Cam Ward even plays a pedestrian game. Because, like, Cam Ward didn't play a bad game, but he didn't play a good game. Like,
and he got sacked 5 times.
Yeah, like, I mean, I just, I'm more – this sounds crazy to say. I'm more confident in Miami dropping one of their last 2 than I am of Pitt beating Clemson, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And what's so great for the ACC this year is, and I think the CFP committee is going to change this with the next rankings, but you're looking at the SEC and just how that league is shaking out. And like you're able to have legitimate arguments like, hey, is a 3-loss Louisville better than an LSU 3-loss or South Carolina 3-loss? And as crazy as it sounds, you look at those resumes and you compare them and say, oh my God, well, Louisville actually has a better resume than those schools. And then let's say Georgia loses this weekend. Do I think Georgia's a better team than Louisville? Yes, absolutely. But Yeah, I know. There's Elsa. That's so cool. 1 second, boys.
But yeah, like what he's saying, like, and what's crazy is Tennessee's in a position this weekend to where they don't, in my opinion, they don't even have to win. They just can't get blown out. Then they finish 10-2. They're probably going to be on the right side of the bubble. So then it's really a debate between like Ole Miss and, possibly Georgia. I don't know. It could be Texas because, like, if Texas loses again, they're a 10-2 team with a pretty soft schedule, all in all. Like, Texas could be left out at 10-2. Like, that part of the playoff discussion is honestly what's going to be probably one of the more fun things about it, is trying to figure out those last few teams that are going to get in out of that pod.
So here's my crazy thing. If Ohio State goes out and beats Indiana, like I think they will, by like 35 plus, I think 11-1 Indiana gets left out.
I do too. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but
Yeah.
At the same time, you can't
Well,
say they're better.
I'll say this. It depends on how they lose. Like if they lose to Ohio State by like a score.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they just get blown out of the water, though.
Yeah, no. If it's an ass whooping, then yeah, I agree.
And then for Penn State, man, if Penn State somehow drops another game, I think they're out also at 10-2.
Dude, who does Penn State play though? They have like one of the weakest Power 5 or Power 4.
It's legitimately, it's a little bit better than Indiana's. I want to say Indiana is in the like 106, 107 range. I think Penn State's in like the 90s.
So they've got Purdue, Minnesota, and Maryland left.
Like if they drop one of those games, man, and I know like my QAnon theory about this is ESPN still controls the college football playoff this year and the media rights for it. They have the ultimate say on it. And if one of those Big Ten teams does something silly, ESPN don't like the Big Ten right now. ESPN could very easily say, this committee, let's give it to an SEC or an ACC aligned team.
It's true.
And then even going further with it to the Big 12, I think it's entirely possible the Big 12 only gets one team in the playoff. Because you look at it, Colorado, yes, they're ranked fairly well, but they have an awful schedule as well. Kansas State, I think they're pretty good, but they have losses, and it's just hard to justify. And then BYU, they're probably the best of the bunch, but they're still like, man, they're vulnerable. They're 3-point favorites right now to Kansas. They're 3-point favorites to Kansas.
The thing with BYU is the win over SMU. And that's what holds SMU back too. And that's like the only knock you can really use on SMU. In my opinion.
My SMU conversation is going to continue to go the same way. If SMU played Clemson, Miami, or Louisville and Charlotte, I don't think SMU wins any of those games, and I think those are all 2-score games.
I agree.
And that sounds very mean to say and like irrational, but I just have zero faith in that team, especially the longer the season goes on. Because the longer the season goes on, you see more and more second and third stringers in the game getting quality reps, and SMU just does not have that level of talent across the board.
Well, the thing is, like, they barely beat Duke. And, I mean, they beat Pitt, but Pitt put up 25 on them. I mean, I don't have anything for SMU. I really don't. Like, their best win was us.
And it was a very controversial win at that.
Yeah. I mean, without that win, they wouldn't even be in this ball. Well, without that win, everything changes. We're possibly knocking on top 10.
Yeah, if Louisville's 10-2 right now, interchangeable on the losses, they're probably at 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Like that. I think a lot of Louisville fans are really discrediting how strong their resume is, even with 3 losses.
Yeah.
Louisville currently has 3 wins over bowl-eligible teams. Okay? The only team in the SEC that can compete with that is Alabama with 4. Everyone else is either below or above that line. And a lot of, for Alabama at least, specifically 2 of those wins are against G5s. So, I don't know. It's going to –
You're bringing
it's gonna
facts in here, my friend.
I know. It's that big J. Once you get that J, dude, they just brain grows. It's going to be a really interesting end of the season. Just everything right now, college football wise, is just so interesting with me, at least for me. And as a Louisville fan, I'm going to keep saying it, man. If you handle your business, you got a very good chance of backdooring your way into the college football playoff. I know your percentage right now is like in the upper teens, but
It's common every day.
It's legitimately going higher every single day, because I think now the more and more simulations people are running, it keeps showing. It's like, oh my God, Louisville keeps somehow finding their way back in this thing as a 3-loss. And dude, if Louisville makes the college football playoff 9-3, people will lose their minds, because that means
it's going to be amazing.
That means Louisville's getting in over a 3-loss SEC team, if not 2 3-loss SEC teams.
Paul Feinbaum is going to absolutely cry on his show the next day. It's going to be insane.
Man cries himself to sleep every night. I cannot stand him.
I'm not a fan.
All right, gentlemen, I'm exhausted. I'm
gonna hop off. Also, I got
struggling to
boxes,
sleep. You're good, man. Be safe. Be careful.
Yeah, y'all have a good one, boys.
You too. You have any last thoughts, Cam? I'm not early.
I'm right there with you. I'm scrambled brained right now. I'm just ready to get to this game, and then we can talk afterward.
Yep. Same. All right. Well, we'll close her out. We'll call it a night. I don't know where the hell Brad went, but other than that, sorry. Long week. Sorry for all the Brad just kicked back in. There he is. Brad.
Yo.
Closing thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go out there and take care of business. I want to see a beat down. I mean, I want to see a thumping, give me 52-14.
I like that. I like 52-14. Oh. All right. Other than that, we will get back with you. I'm not going to promise anything this weekend because it's my daughter's birthday weekend. You guys can throw like an audio space on if you want. If I'm not able to get this together, but we'll be back Tuesday regardless. And
sounds good.
Other than that, as always, go Cards. And let's go get our first win against Stanford, guys.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Adios, muchachos.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.